Canelo's too smart. I think Canelo starts breaking him down. I think Canelo should win by knockout.
Edgar's a good fighter, and he'll come to fight.
Berlanga's going to go out there and give him a great fight, a better fight than people are expecting. So
I think he'd be too smart, have too much. I think Berlanga will be a bit too predictable, a bit too... It's hard to say inexperienced, if you know what I mean, but I think he'll be a bit too inexperienced at that level for Canelo. He's not quite...
In a recent interview with The Stomping Ground, Terrence Crawford shared his opinion on the forthcoming battle between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. Boxing pros have projected the winner of this bout. Alvarez quits Berlanga, I believe. I believe that Berlanga is incredibly excited about this fight and that he will make a fantastic champion eventually. However, I believe that at this point, Canelo is simply too strong for Berlanga. If Canelo wins, Crawford will have an opportunity to advance in his pursuit of the super fight by increasing his weight from 154 to 168 pounds in order to win.
Quite ready, but a talented kid.
In terms of does he beat Canelo, I would see that as a huge...
Crawford had total confidence in his mastery of the beautiful science, saying, "If everything goes according to plan, I have the ability to pay the bills and I believe I have an advantage over Alvarez." As the fight draws near, the excitement surrounding it is growing. Edgar Berlanga accomplished the unthinkable. He's up against none other than one of boxing's most iconic characters. Confronting Canelo Alvarez is a challenge in itself, let alone bringing him down this Saturday night. The two will square off at T-Mobile Arena. While the event includes additional high-profile pairings, the emphasis is fully on the highly anticipated Alvarez-Berlanga final match 4.
Berlanga is going to have to go out there right away and see can he hurt Canelo, which I have never seen Canelo shoot and hurt in a fight myself that I knew of. But if he can hurt, because Edgar is a bigger guy, he's a puncher, if he can hurt Canelo, then he has a chance. Because now he'll put Canelo in a sense of where I don't need to get hit by this guy. I may have to change the way that I operate. For instance, B-Ball put him in a situation where he had to respect B-Ball's punching power but B-Ball was a light heavyweight. So B-Ball was a bigger guy. And he did respect that punch, and he kind of stayed off of B-Ball. Well, Berlanga has to go out and get that kind of respect right away. If he doesn't, and to the flip side of that, he's got to be able to absorb what can...
Alvarez's combined titles. Just the fact that this bout happened has sparked discussions in the boxing community. The announcement coincided with Canelo Alvarez reaffirming his position regarding a possible fight with WBC mandatory contender David Benavidez. Meanwhile, news of honoring the IBF's mandatory challenger was making the rounds, and above all of these tumbling plot points, the bout with Edgar Berlanga was officially confirmed. Though the undefeated Brooklyn native has gained recognition in the super middleweight class, is that sufficient to compete against a boxer with Alvarez's background?
What Canelo brought to his chin, and he was able to give Canelo back better than Canelo brought him. Can this guy do that? Can Berlanga take the onslaught and return it just as good or better? That's what's going to be the question. Because if he can take the onslaught and return it, then we got ourselves a great fight. If he can't take the onslaught, then we got us a fight that's going to be good for 3 rounds.
There are now a few professional analyses available for review. Read the tweet from Boxing News. Will Canelo secure pro victory number 62 next weekend, or can Edgar is still learning? Startle the world. A condensed version of the industry prediction was featured in the post and posted on the channel's YouTube page. The 30-second video opens with Robert Garcia giving Canelo Alvarez a clean sweep. The distinguished trainer remarked, "I think Canelo starts breaking him down. He's too smart. Canelo should win by knockout on expected grounds." Eddie Hearn thinks that Berlanga might as well do what Munguia was unable to do, stating that Edgar is a strong fighter who has never lost and can deliver powerful blows.
Favorite time of the week again. It's time for the only segment in boxing that gives you the facts and makes you laugh. It's Clapback Thursdays. The boxing news is still slow this week, but as always, I got creative because I realized it's the best part of your boring week. So let's go! Okay, so we're a week away from the boxing match that nobody asked for, right? And the UFC event that everybody will be watching. Canelo's fighting Berlanga, another snooze fest. They're trying to sell a pay-per-view for $90 and $500 minimum in person. It's just robbery at this point to pay for another lame Canelo fight that always goes the distance against a subpar opponent. I'll actually be attending the UFC event at the Sphere instead. So now, I love the sport of boxing more than anything, and I will be watching boxing matches anywhere and anytime, even if it's a simple sparring session or two bums fighting in the street. So the idea I'm choosing to attend the UFC and support Dana White instead of Canelo tells you everything you need to know. Dana, I can't wait to see you next Saturday, buddy. I see that you got the same ab surgery I got. I always knew you wanted to be like me, bro. It will be great to hang out with you face to face.
He plans to challenge pound for pound superstar Jesse "Bomb" Rodriguez, agrees that Edgar Berlanga's decision to confront Canelo Alvarez could surprise fans and watchers. This is in line with Eddie Hearn's thoughts. Rodriguez expressed faith in his fellow fighter. In the matchroom, forecasting a fierce and combative performance from the Brooklyn-born super middleweight of Puerto Rican heritage, Paul Smith Jr. seems to be unsure of the Berlanga's present situation. The former British super middleweight champion thinks Canelo Alvarez is still better than Berlanga. Smith considers Alvarez to be a seasoned, three-time world title challenger with tactical acumen far above that of Berlanga. He finds the Puerto Rican fighter's style to be too predictable, which makes it simple for the Mexican legend to read Berlanga's movements.
A lot of Mexico like him. I go to Mexico a lot. They don't like him. They like us. He's a come here. Puerto Rico, in Spanish in Puerto Rico, come here, person that eats.
So for the Mexican fans then that don't like him.
A lot of Mexicans don't like him. I done went into his fights, I done walked into his fights, and Mexicans are screaming at me, "Tú vas a ganar Canelo! Gana Canelo, puñet!"
In the end, the real Gone Kid says that Berlanga might not have the elite experience required to take on a fighter of Canelo Alvarez's caliber. Teddy Atlas agrees that Berlanga is skilled in the ring, but he is unsure if the chosen one is truly prepared to face the formidable challenge that Canelo Alvarez poses. Similarly, former professional boxer and top trainer David Caldwell thinks it would be incredible if Edgar Berlanga were to hand Canelo his third career defeat. Although Edgar Berlanga is talented, he is not quite ready to face Canelo Alvarez. The general consensus seems to favor a Canelo Alvarez victory, which is shocking to me, but other people contend that Edgar Berlanga still merits consideration. The Mexican champion, known as the Chosen One, is well known for his devastating knockouts, having secured 16 straight early stoppages that have drawn attention. However, the main question is whether Berlanga's relentless offense can overcome Alvarez's formidable defense, and if the fight moves close, will Berlanga be able to keep up? Each and every boxing fan is aware of the Mexican champion's dominance in close quarters, particularly with his devastating left hook and punishing body shots. Considering this, history fans can anticipate a spectacular confrontation of different styles with this golden opportunity on the line. Berlanga is primed to give his all and won't allow this fight slip through his fingers on September 14th. Be ready for a showcase of his unyielding desire and tenacity. Edgar Berlanga's upcoming fight against the famous Canelo Alvarez has been hailed by Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn as an unbeatable opportunity. Although the chances are against him, Hearn, the chairman of Matchroom Boxing, and Berra's promoter believe their fighter is ready to take advantage of this opportunity. Hearn informed DAZN that you can never tell if you're prepared for a fighter like Canelo Alvarez until you step inside the ring. The reason for this is that Alvarez is a very elite boxer with a strong heart and strong beliefs who is prepared to fight on September 14th when Mexico takes on Puerto Rico. In February of last year, Berlanga cemented his reputation by defeating Padre McCuey of Ireland in the 6th round. This impressive display earned him the mandatory challenger place at 168 pounds with the WBA, despite fights with Christian Andilli of France and Hagi Mongier of Mexico didn't happen. For Mexico's Independence Day fight night, Canelo chose Berlanga as his opponent. Ever before the bout was announced, the two fighters have been trading jabs, with Berlanga teasing that he would use his ring savvy and jab to test Canelo. Hearn stated that the difference between the two fighters isn't that great, and perhaps Edgar could have afforded an Emily or a Mongia, but those opportunities don't come along very often, and you have to seize them when they do. Hearn took advantage of the occasion to announce that Diego PCO, who is still undefeated, will face the winner of the next Canelo Berlanga bout, following Pacho's dominant 6th round knockout of Machai Sai. On Saturday, Pacho has now won 10 of his previous 11 bouts by knockout, with Selly being stopped by several body blows that finally caused him to lose. Hearn stated, "I look at it a little bit like Diego," adding that he probably needs that friction fight against the winner of Berlanga, but you never know until you're in the deep end. Caleb Plant has added his voice to the chorus of doubters predicting Edgar Berlanga, a plus 1,000 underdog, has little chance of defeating Canelo, because as he stated, "I don't think Berlanga will come close to beating Alvarez, he doesn't have the boxing skills IQ." For Chin, that's a recipe for disaster, however. We'll let him disprove our assumptions and demonstrate his abilities. We're just focused on my fight against the 168-pound champion. On the undercard of the Alvarez vs. Berlanga bout, Caleb Plant is scheduled to face the undefeated Trevor McCum. If Berlanga were to fall short against Alvarez, a comeback match with Plant could definitely be on the table. Given their ongoing tension, Plant said Berlanga is on the list of folks. "I would like to fight right now. I am just focusing on Trevor. This is his moment. This is his opportunity. I'll be here at 168 pounds for a while, perhaps until I retire, so I need to give it everything I have." Plant's career has only encountered 2 setbacks in the 11th round. Alvarez, who hasn't competed since his encounter with Benavidez, Plant lost in a unanimous decision in November 2021 and is nevertheless of the belief that he ought to meet the Mexican superstar once more in March 2023. Plant mentioned that an Alvarez fight might occur. "Never say never, that's another fight I'm down to have and boxing would love. He's not next for me right now. Nothing is next for me, except Trevor McCum. Nothing happens unless I raise my hand. I've been gone for a moment, but I've been making the most of my time, and on September 14th, you'll witness the best Caleb Plant yet." Edgar Berlanga is a fighter who thrives on aggressive attacks that force opponents to the ropes so he can finish with a flurry of punches. But his typical approach might not be effective against the formidable face of boxing, Canelo.